Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. Great. Thank you, Kurtis. We've given him too much power. This is untenable.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Hello. Welcome to another episode of Delve Requisite here on Proficiency Bonus. It's Tuesday night. Things look a little different tonight, but not too different. You might be noticing that we don't have. Do I want to do this? I haven't decided. Sure, there we go. I started us with a for you guys on stream who aren't watching. I started us with an overlay that didn't have your guys' names on them, but that looked a little empty. And I had done that because the only overlay that I have ready right now is the one that has Ozrius at the bottom. So right now we have Ozrius as played by Brittany. But so that we don't confuse everybody, Brittany is a guest appearing tonight. Brittany, who what the hell are you doing? Oh. Brittany, who longtime viewers will...
Look, I'm Matt!
He's a green screen.
Howdy.
Do anything with these guys.
Oh man, meta.
That.
I'm blank. Howdy is maybe one of my favorite jokes of all time. Russell did inherit some of the physical copies of my maps when I moved because I didn't want to bring them several states away. Criminy. What the hell was I saying? Oh, Brittany will be joining us tonight. She's going to be playing a guest spot character. Kurtis is here. Kurtis is playing the ghost of Kurtis tonight. Yep. He will be disembodied. He may chime in as Oz. I may make him voice NPCs. Really, what we've discovered here is that
improv night.
It's improv night. I moved a week ago and started a new job 2 days ago. So I'm just out of fucks to give. So we're just doing it live. Oh, goodness.
We're doing it live.
All right, before this gets any further off the rails, let's quickly thank our sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. Anybody viewing at home, you can type !Little Dragon or !CGC to get links to Cardboard Castle and to Little Dragon Corp. Little Dragon Corp is a Canadian-based dice company who sells fine polyhedral gaming dice like these. Yes, they sell seashells by the seashore, and if by seashells you mean dice, and by the seashore you mean from Canada online, yes, that is what they do.
Absolutely. Math rocks.
Math rocks for you.
Here are mine that I ordered live on an episode a couple weeks ago.
Look at them dice.
His look cool on there. Mine are the wrong color.
They actually do.
They just get washed out by the
they're like
screen.
Galaxy.
Ooh. Internet.
Oh. Are they still running their running their sale?
I believe so. We broke things sale. Yeah.
Their We Broke Things sale. They apparently had in my heart of hearts is like some sort of a domino effect of like a comically laid out series of rows of shelves containing dice that got knocked over like dominoes. But apparently they broke a bunch of things, and it has triggered them to have a big sale. So check that out if you are in need of some new dice. Mine invisible today, as you can see. It's my invisible D20.
Invisible D20.
Yeah, look at it.
It's all 20s somehow.
It's my invisible D20.
Oops, all 20s.
Welcome to Proficiency Bonus. Oops, all 20s. And Cardboard Castle is a brick and mortar tabletop RPG store located here in the United States, where the group of us players are from. They are in Evans, Georgia. So if you are in Evans, Georgia, or I think they're right near the border. I think they're like right on the cusp of Carolina. You can visit them in person.
Brought to you tonight by the word cusp.
Cusp. I moved to Maryland. I am concerned that I might develop a Southern accent. Everyone here has one.
Get you. So what? You move south of the line. I move north. So we get
Yeah.
a Boston accent and a southern
Yeah, hell
accent.
yeah.
I'll
Alright.
get a Boston accent sooner or later.
This episode brought to you by Enjoy It Now because it's soon to be unlistenable.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
for sure.
Is it worse than the Jersey accents? that
Oh,
everybody
you kidding me?
has?
that
Oh,
is
yeah.
that is true.
Oh yeah, they'll be
It's-
talking about the cars in the yard. He's
I
going
really
to
hope
the
not.
bar. It's just going to be it's going to be completely and utterly unlistenable.
It's
Man.
gonna be a real hoot. All right, let's get started tonight,
Nope,
y'all.
You can stop that right
no,
now.
this
That
is
went
listen.
Australian for a
Listen,
second.
no, this is what everybody down here sounds like, and
gross.
that's how I'm gonna
sakes.
sound too, probably.
Love
Anyway,
it.
Lick toes in your free time.
right? Jesus.
I'm sorry. I'm done. Curtis, why did you say these things?
What? Excuse me. Just because I don't have. Okay, roll it. Get the
Curtis
tape
brought an
going.
energy.
I brought
not
an
here
energy.
before you popped- It was not here before you popped in.
All right.
Damn.
Okay, we got it. This is out of hand.
Yes.
Somebody type CGV in chat.
Oh, that was me because I was typing and laughing at the same time.
Okay,
Roll it, DM.
where
Roll
were
Alright.
we? Here is where we were.
Serious intrigue. Here we go.
At the
The-
beginning, the pit of despair. Let's go.
Pit of this, yes, the Pit of Despair. We zoom out from the Pit of Despair. We travel several hundred miles from that. We zoom back into the place where we actually are in the Mithlindian capital city of Niveria. The Fool's Errant, Aelar, Cabot Jr., Abraham, Bram, Repluck, Walter Gray, and Ozrius Madrokia are currently in Castle Mithlinday. They were summoned here by a letter from an acquaintance, an accomplice, I guess you could say, of theirs, Tabitha Delker, the daughter of the former member of Parliament, Cartwright Delker, that the party knows was mixed up in some business having to do with the Brotherhood of Artanis. The member of Parliament that the party is pretty sure was murdered by the Brotherhood of Artanis when he tried to get out of the organization, or tried to not do whatever thing it was that they wanted him to do. Working with Tabitha Delker, the party uncovered a lot of this, but has staled Bram's relationship with the Brotherhood and has put a big old target on the backs of the rest of the party, of this massive shadowy organization with seeming influence all across the Five Kingdoms. They received a message from Tabitha Delker, politely inviting them to pay her a visit sometime, as it would be lovely to see them. Wink, wink, hint, hint. It seemed very clear that something was wrong, and she was trying to get them a message to, like, hey, please quickly come here. But also this message might be like intercepted, so I'm coding it. Getting that message, the party immediately traveled to Niveria, and have inquired about the Lady Delker at the Castle Mithlinday, where they were led deep within the castle by who they have learned is an individual by the name of Sir Tyrus Luther, one of the a legendary member of the Mithlindian King's Guard. And they find themselves now in a chamber within the castle, where the only members of the or the only individuals in the room are the king, who has shown up himself, King Roland Aldo, the King of Mithlinday, Sir Tyrus Luther, Tabitha Delker, and the party. The king explained to you guys last time that based on the information that Tabitha Delker was able to, brought to him about what was going on with her father and what the group of you guys uncovered together, he has been kind of pulling at some threads of some dark and ominous whispers throughout his court, and he has become quite convinced that there is a very large scale and potentially deadly conspiracy brewing within his court. But he does not know much about it. He has asked you for a few favors. He has asked that you take some information that he has to give you, and acting as his agents, secretly investigate this potential plot that he believes is brewing and see what you can find out. And then he has asked that you take Tabitha Delker with you from the city when you go and see her safely to the Ordinum Libri, where he has called in, favors, and you guys obviously have enough sway there to help establish her with, safe haven and sanctuary within the Ordinum's city. The queen and the king's heirs have all been sent away from Terra Libra, or from Niveria, and he has basically told you that he is afraid that what might be at the end of this plot that you're uncovering might be somebody plotting to assassinate him, for all he knows, or depose him in some way. But he is duty bound by the position of his regal crown to stay upon his throne, and he's not going to be run from his kingdom and his castle. So he has tasked you guys with getting to the bottom of this. He has told you a few things. In general, about kind of like, there's whispers going on, and you guys already know the stuff that happened with Delker, but he has a little bit more information to impart to you. But before he gets to that, one of the last things we did last time we played was he had said that he has brought somebody in who is going to be tasked with aiding you. And he told you that, or he asked for Inquisitor Highhaven to be summoned. Inquisitor Highhaven, you will remember, Liana Highhaven was the High Elven Mithlindian Inquisitor that you guys encountered way back in Stone Mill, at the very beginning of your journey. So we will rejoin now as a few moments pass, and that kind of like servant that he's been, that has been like coming in and out of the room, comes back, and following behind him are two individuals. The first one you recognize as Liana Highhaven. She looks very much the same as when you saw her last. She has long, dark hair, vibrant green eyes. She is a high elf. She has long, pointed ears. She wears the blue and like platinum and gold regalia of her office. Her longsword is at her hip as always. And following her is another individual. And Brittany, why don't you describe what this other individual looks like as you follow Commander Highhaven into the room?
Sure. Let me pull it up so I remember what the heck I look like. So you see another tall female elf with, again, the bright green eyes, pale skin, and instead of dark hair, very long, almost white blonde hair. And she is walking with her hands kind of bunched in front of her, simple, like, robed clothing on, and is very much just in the shadow of Liana Highhaven.
Any obvious weapons?
Nothing obvious.
A 6 foot tall battle axe.
Okay, so these two women walk into the chamber, and King Aldo kind of like nods to both of you, and he turns back to you guys, the Fool's Errand. He says, "The Inquisitor has already been informed of every detail, as few of them as there are that I have on this situation. So for your benefit, to bring you up to speed, as I said, there is something afoot. It likely did not begin with Minister Delka and his involvement with this brotherhood of yours, and I do not believe it has ended there. There have always been various detractors within my court. There will always be those who disagree with any decision that I make. It is part of being a king that one must learn that not everyone can be satisfied all of the time. You simply do what is right and what you think is best, and attempt to keep under control those who would see your rule destabilized. Among those is another member of Parliament, a man by the name of Alamin Hernrose. He has long been one such instigator and rabble-rouser within my court. Questions my royal decrees endlessly and is constantly at odds with things which would be beneficial to the people of Mithlinde. The pretense he and his little cabal have always worn as a mask is the guise of fiscal conservatism. But Hernrose is greedy, is power-hungry, and he is acting in his own interests and those of his cronies. He has long been in bed with some of the larger trade guilds. He smiles a little ruefully, and then he speaks kind of frankly to you in a little bit of an unroyal tone, as he says, Hernrose is a pain in the ass, but he's always been one that I've been able to outmaneuver, keep from doing too much harm. Parliament has a great deal of power in Mithlinde by design. It was never the intention of this kingdom that one ruler should be the absolute authority. He says, but neither is the Parliament without its own checks and balances. I have always kept Hernrose and his cabal in line. However, it is not the renewed vigor or amplification of Hernrose's typical complaining and plotting and scheming since Minister Delka's death that has me concerned. It is a suspicious negligence in his usual role of being a thorn in my side, which has me worried. Hernrose has gained a considerable amount of political sway after Delka's death, and has been smugly quiet. I hear whispers and rumors only reaching me of coin changing hands in shadowy rooms, of agreements being made, but it has been like trying to grasp smoke from a recently extinguished candle in my hand. Nothing solid have I been able to unearth. These manners of court are delicate, you understand. Moving outwardly is not possible. Everything must be cloak and dagger and subterfuge. I am convinced that whatever is afoot, if Hernrose is not the center of it, he is at the very least involved. This is the best lead that I am able to provide you with at this time. The task that I am laying before you is to investigate Hernrose, see what you can uncover about what he is up to or what he might be involved in. It is imperative that you not alert the man to your involvement, and certainly not that you are acting on my behalf.
Instead, he has trade guild ties. Do you
He
know
does.
which companies or guilds he's specifically known to associate with?
He says many of the ones here in the guild quarter, in the craftsman's quarter, the smith's guild, the woodcutter's guild. He says the mercantile guilds, all within Mithlinde's governmental structure.
I'm sure you'd be hard pressed to find a parliamentarian that doesn't involved with them in some capacity, but I may have some strings I can pull.
He says, yes, I understand that you are in the employ of the Honorable Moxham of Valand.
Certainly a word for it, yes.
Your Majesty, in your opinion, is knowing the man as long as you have, how stupid do you think he is?
He kind of smiles a little bit, and he says, you don't become a member of Parliament and stay that way by being an imbecile. However, Hernrose has never struck me as the creative mastermind sort.
Okay, so fair chance if there's something dirty, he'll have it hidden, but he won't have it very, very well hidden.
He says, nor do I believe it is outside of the realm of possibility that he is following the lead of someone even more adept at operating within the shadows. He is clever and he lacks his scruples, but to be the ringleader of a conspiracy that threatens the very foundation of Mithlinde, I don't see it in him. He stands up and he says, I have other appointments that must be kept, and I have spent far too much time here already for a meeting that is, for all official purposes, non-existent. He gestures to Sir Tyrus Luther. He says, for affairs involving the royal court, Sir Tyrus Luther can be your liaison. Be assured that any information that you bring to him or queries will reach my ear directly with all expedience. He says, for other affairs within the city, he gestures towards Inquisitor Highhaven. He says, the Inquisitor will be at your service to assist you in moving about the city or the like. But this is once again, I must stress the importance of subtlety.
Understand completely. We don't wish to tarnish the name of the Ordinum Libri, as we are agents of them as well, and I certainly don't want to see the Five Kingdoms destabilized for something that we did or did not do.
He nods. He says, very well, then I shall leave you. If you have further questions, direct them to the Inquisitor or towards Sotiris. And he kind of gives you guys another nod. He goes over and he like exchanges another one of those like manly forearm hand clasps with Ozrius. And then
when he stands, Aelar stands as well. And slight bow.
He like sweeps out of the room. Tabitha Delker also kind of stands and like does a curtsy. Oldo doesn't. I don't know what the rest of you guys do or don't do as he comes in. Oldo does not seem to be overly concerned with like the courtly observance of the rules of everybody bows to him and all that thing. He just kind of like heads back out of the room. So that leaves you guys in the room with Tabitha Delker, with Sotiris Luther, with Inquisitor Liana Highhaven, and with Highhaven's associate that has come in.
All right. So, fair chance Henros is dirty of something. If we're lucky, he's an agent of, or we're really lucky, then person behind this little conspiracy. Might not. I don't think he'd be dumb enough to leave anything too incriminating in his office at the Parliament building. What do you think, Bram?
No, probably not.
Okay, so chances are it would be
It
at his
would've been
residence.
like that, hide his dirty laundry.
Yeah. His residence, or the residence of. Aelar's gonna look in Inquisitor Highhaven. At the risk of impropriety, I don't suppose it's known whether or not Member of Parliament Henrose is faithful to a spouse if he has one.
Highhaven turns towards Sotiris at that, and she says, I wouldn't know. I don't keep my ear out for court intrigue, nor am I in the city very often. She says, Sotiris, is there anything of that nature that you're aware of? I forget what voice I gave Sotiris. So he's just going to sound like this now if it's any different. He says,
Go what you got.
Thank you. Yes, thank you. My inner conscience, my inner conscience has given me the strength that I need to carry on. He says,
Show us what you got.
he says, he says, there are any number of unpleasant rumors about Hernrose's business dealings. But as far as his personal life is concerned, there are none that I am aware of.
Okay, so we can eliminate searching a mistress's house. That simplifies matters a little bit. So either anything dirty would be kept at the residence, or there might be some things at one of the guild house headquarters.
I mean, I can go tap Moxham Enclave and see if they have any information on him. I'm sure they have some sort of itinerary on him, like they did with. And he's gonna look at Tabitha and then just like stop talking. So you might be able to get something at least. I can jump on that now if you don't have anything immediately pressing.
Man, that sounds like a decent idea. Well, I can't believe I'm going to be saying this in front of two official, well, sorry, three official officials of Midland Day, but this might call for a little second story work.
Liana Highhaven like kind of like clears her throat at that, but doesn't comment on it. She says, "As the king has stressed the need for subtlety in this investigation, my direct involvement seems unwise." She says, she gestures at the like extremely fancy and noticeable outfit that she has. She says, "Even out of my official garb, I am well enough recognized within the circles that you will be traveling that my presence will endanger any attempt that you are making at flying below notice on this. As such, I am forced to admit that my helpfulness to you will have to be relegated to providing you with information and access to resources should you need them. In light of this, I have elected," and she gestures now, Brittany, to you. She says, "I have elected to assign my attaché, Velza Edrin, to accompany and assist you in this matter." She says, "I have provided..." Let's see. I don't know. How about Lieutenant Ezra, Lieutenant Edrin? I have provided the lieutenant with a list comprising the location of Minister Hernrose's office, his home, several of his most commonly frequented taverns and restaurants, as well as the names and locations of a handful of what I believe to be the most likely guild representative subjects that may be involved in this. You may pay visits to any or all of them at your leisure to see what you can uncover as you proceed in your investigation."
Thank you very much, Inquisitor. And thank you, Lieutenant. Or would you prefer something less formal?
Considering we're going to be dealing with people who might not know my rank, I think Velza is fine.
Velza it is.
Well then, Velza. Velza has the list of locations where you can go to.
Yes. Velza theoretically has the list. There is not an actual physical list. You just basically like the way that this is going to work is like I want you guys to just like tell me what you want to do or where you want to go or something that seems like might be a lead to you, and like it'll be on the list.
Sure. Walter would probably like lean towards the guild ties heavily, like any of the
Sure.
mercantile or guild ties. If anybody else has other things that sounded interesting to them.
Does he have an assistant?
I was gonna suggest the
almost
entire
almost certainly, yes.
Well, we should go talk to the assistant.
All right, you guys deal with the assistant while I go do the other thing. I think that's probably
If
better.
you can keep the assistant talking, I might be able to get into if we're headed to the Parliament building. Perhaps a quick search of the office might not go amiss, particularly if no one else is there.
I could also make you invisible.
I can do that myself, but
He said,
fuck you, Wayfly.
I imagine Bram like pivots and points over to like Velza instead. It's just like
She is
No.
frightened of all of you at this point. Would
as she should be.
would I know who his assistant is and have any kind of history or interactions with them? Or
Probably
since,
not, for the sake
Right.
of not having to spend the whole session with you being like, do I know
Yep.
this thing? And then
Yeah.
like Inquisitor
Much better.
Highhaven is not based out of
right.
Niveria.
Mhm.
So like I don't think
I know
you
too
are
much, but
super
I-
familiar with the city or with like the people here.
Okay. Sounds good.
So,
Therefore,
do the members of Parliament are they sort of like they manage are the representative of a specific district of the city? Is that how it works?
The members of Parliament do parliamentary things. No, so they are sort of the way I haven't delved super deep into like the my assumption is that like absolutely no one gives a crap. I haven't delved super deep into like the minutia of what like the members of Parliament do. My sort of broad strokes view on them, and this might be like completely divorced by how Parliament works in real life. I am from America, so that means I'm automatically an idiot when it comes to like how any governments that isn't our own terrible one works. But my sort of broad strokes take on this is like the members of Parliament represent like various almost like how like in the US like you have like senators from like various states, except in this case it's not as much like geographically based so much as it is like you have members of Parliament who are like responsible for maintaining like the roads and like byways and stuff of the country, and members of Parliament who are responsible for like the sea river commerce
Then
and stuff like
to
that.
amend the question is I will like to figure out what he's specifically in charge of.
That's easy enough. The Highhaven and Tyrus Luther can tell you that. Hern Rose's like specific area of responsibility has to do with the what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's like like logistics. So like getting goods like food, material, building goods, things like that, like where it needs to be throughout the kingdoms. Hernrose is involved in that. There's like a little cluster of members of Parliament who like sort of like infrastructure and logistics type stuff is their like realm. And that is what Hernrose does, which is why he's like so close with a lot of like the craftsmen's guilds and like trade guilds and stuff like that, because he's involved in a lot of that stuff. King Oldo's insinuation being that like he is in the pocket of those guilds, who make sure that his coffers are very well lined, for him to support policy that makes it easier for them to make massive amounts of profits off of their their wares and their services, and makes policy that would be makes like social programs that would be costly to those types of entities, more difficult to get through. Like that's sort of Aldo's take on him, but that's like what he does.
Okay. That's all I need to know. I have a plan.
So Nigel Dewsbury.
No.
Too famous in this town. That name is
know.
burned.
I don't know why we. Yeah, the Nigel Dewsbury
use that alias.
has been burn noticed in this town. Okay, then Liana Highhaven tells you that she can be found in the Midland Day, Niveria. She is going to be staying in the upper ward, in a particular there's like a sort of like a there's like a set of apartments there that they would put like visiting dignitaries might stay in, stuff like that. It's like owned by, the government like maintains it, and it's used to house government officials and foreign nationals and stuff like that when they come. She's like posted up in a like a suite of apartments and offices there that she gives you the address for in the upper ward. Sir Tyrus Luther obviously will be here in the castle, and they kind of like suggest that like, all right, it's time for you guys to like, before anybody sees you here, it's time to like get you out of the these like inner chambers of Castle Midland Day. So Sir Tyrus like exits through the door that Aldo left through, giving you guys like a curt nod on his way out. Highhaven like walks with you as far as like you guys get to like the outer courtyard of the Castle Midland Day, where like you guys are start to head one way, and she like branches off to like not be seen near you, and she just she leaves you with a vague warning. She's like, whatever you do, do make every attempt not to get caught breaking any laws.
That's always the intention.
She says, I can probably see you out of some minor conflicts, but if you get yourselves into hot water doing something highly illegal directly against the person of a member of the parliament, there is very little I can do to aid you. So exercise caution. She says, I don't want to train another lieutenant. This one is very good at her job.
We promise to return her in the condition that you've loaned her to us.
She nods. She gives exchanges sort of just a look with Vezra, and then she heads off away from you guys. So you are like kind of in the you're like on the grounds of Castle Midland Day right now. You would head outward towards the gate to like exit the gate back into the the wards. But you have a magical list that will automatically contain any place that you think is relevant to your investigation that you tell me you want to go. I know some of you have some ideas, so lay it on me. Where's everybody heading? Are you sticking together? Are you splitting up? What's the plan?
I'll probably split off for now. But I'll make a plan. Like I'm only gonna be brief with my data acquisition. I'm not gonna go to I'm not gonna go like door to door shaking down vendors. I'm gonna go to my spot and find stuff out.
Okay.
Meet back at. Let's meet back at the bar where our two guardsmen friend like to frequent.
Sounds vaguely familiar from a year and a half ago. Hold on.
I'm gonna see if I can.
It's in the forest. Yeah, it's in the forest words. I forget the name of the bar, unfortunately.
I don't even know if I have the name.
I can always stumble back to the wizard's house, which is
Let's not.
No longer there.
Probably don't want to do that.
Yeah, we've done enough to them.
Well,
you didn't hear that.
It's fine. I'm not
To be
Check
fair,
the-
we told them we were in the service of the king, and I guess we weren't lying. We just didn't know it yet.
We were preemptively not lying. It's
Bram.
outstanding.
The less she knows, probably the better.
Look,
No,
I'm
it's-
just
it's
saying,
fine.
I'm going to trademark precognitive lying.
All right.
I want to go check out his office.
I will be going along with you because I'm hoping that you can smooth talk anybody that we run into, and I can.
I don't know that it'll be smooth, but it'll certainly be talk.
Well,
Have an idea
You're-
as a contingency for you.
you are very good at drawing attention and also finding out information. That works a little bit toward my strength of not being noticed and learning things that I probably shouldn't.
Okay, so Walter's going to talk to Moxham. Bram is going to Hernrose's office.
And Aelar.
Yep.
Office.
I'll be tagging
With
along with them because they're heading to
Aelar.
his office. And I need to keep an eye on them. I'm not
Okay,
too
then we'll
concerned
keep
about
that.
what
We'll keep that
Walter's doing.
simple. Everybody goes to Hernrose's office except Walter, who goes to Moxham.
Yeah.
So let's handle Walter first, since that's likely to be the shorter of the two scenes. So you head over to the western inner portion of the city, over to the ambassador's ward, where you know the Moxham Trading and Mercantile Enclave is located. You head in there, Walter. There is a different sort of androgynous looking half elven individual behind the desk than the last couple of times that you have been in here, that you do not recognize. But as you walk in, they greet you with a very sort of a very stiff sort of half bow at the waist, and immediately say, Mr. Gray, what can I do for you today, sir?
I'd like to request access to the archives for a member of parliament here.
Very well. What individual are you looking for information on?
Element Hernrose.
Hernrose.
And there are one or two others, I believe, as well. And I'm just gonna list off 2 or 3 other names that are maybe I know exist.
There's 2 other members of Midland Day's Parliament.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah. Just 2 or 3 others. Just I just want to not directly be like, hey, I'm gonna go straight from the king's house to talk about this guy.
Okay. They say they pull out a piece of parchment and a quill and take the information down as you recite it off, and they say, very good. Is there any specific areas of information on any of these individuals that you would like queried, or are you just looking for a broad strokes overview at their activity as is in the record?
I'd like the broad strokes, but also more specifically their dealings with the local economy here. Something's got my vibes wrong. So
okay, I'm gonna have you, Walter, make an investigation check to see how well how good the information you get is.
sure, I got a 13. It was almost a 25, but then it rolled to an 8, and I was sad.
Okay. So the individual says, very well, give me perhaps 1 hour to gather the relevant information from the archives. Some of it may not be stored here, but I can request transcripts easily enough. And when you return, I will have a dossier prepared for you.
Outstanding, thank you. And then I'm gonna slip her like a gold coin.
Okay. They sort of take it hesitantly, and give you a little bit of an odd, like sort of an odd look, but don't comment any further.
I'm gonna kind of like pretend to realize I made a mistake, and it's like, sorry, the traveling is getting to me. It's habit at this point. But and then I'll like wave a hand. It's like the deed's already done, and I'll just turn and leave.
All right. So you head back out onto the streets. Alrighty. Across town we go to back to the parliamentary building where your office, right? You said, yeah. Where the group of you are heading for Hernrose's offices within the parliamentary building.
Along the way, Aelar is going to find a shady spot and cast Disguise Self to look like a. I'm sure there. I think from previous episodes there was a kind of a uniform for lower level functionaries in the parliament.
Yeah, there's
building.
like pages that run around all over the building that have like a uniform to them.
Yeah, so Aelar ducks into an alley, comes out looking like a nondescript half elf wearing one of those outfits.
Cool.
And rejoins the group.
Alrighty, so Aelar kind of like flips off, and then like a very bland looking page sort of like rejoins your group. And I was gonna make you make a roll, but I feel like you guys are used to this enough that I don't think you're gonna be like, can I help you? Okay, so you guys like head over to sort of where you have been instructed that the offices of the Minister Hernrose are. What are you doing?
Deciding whether I want to run the risk of disguise selfing or not, because this could all quickly fall apart on one good roll.
I'm debating the same as well. I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'll disguise self. Sort of, just like, sort of like when Shrek becomes human, just like a human, human Bram.
It's really weird that you brought that up. I did watch Shrek and Shrek 2 like 2 days ago.
But like a big twirly mustache.
Okay. So human Shrek, twirly mustache. Got it.
Yeah, like human Bram. Like human Bram.
Yes.
Human Shrek Bram.
Human Shrek Bram, twirly mustache. Aelar, the parliamentary
generic
page.
half elf.
Generic half elf.
And a big wide brim hat and like a brandy, like wine, like burgundy colored like coat.
Okay. Cool.
Isn't that just the guy from the Underdark?
Chat
from the Underdark.
Chat is being true to themselves, I guess.
Yes, yeah.
In a way that disappoints me. Chat's talking about how hot human Shrek is.
Seeing Bram also step off and do that, I'm just gonna shrug and go, I guess it's a party, and I'll go into the same shadowy corner,
Okay.
disguise self, and come back out. Very similar features, just brown hair instead of the nearly white hair,
Okay.
and not quite like the Parliament clothes, but edging into that territory, like little like fancier garb, and
so like business
like a little,
attire.
yeah, like
Okay.
some ear cuff chains around my very long elf ears to
Okay.
like be like a little fancy.
Alrighty. So you guys like enter into you all one after the other duck into this kind of side corridor to change your appearance, come back out. Now the three of you disguised head slightly down this corridor that you've been heading down. It's quite busy. There are people in outfits very similar to what Aelar has disguised himself in, like going hither and yon, bringing scrolls of parchment and tomes and ledgers and memos and coffee, I guess. just around. There are you pass somebody who you take probably to be another one of the members of Parliament, is this sort of hawkish looking older woman, followed by like she's like trailing a swarm of like attaches and assistants and things behind her with like clipboards, heads in the opposite direction down the hallway without sparing you guys even a secondary glance. And you head up to the large double doors that you know to be, based on your list given you by Inquisitor, you know to be the entrance to the outer offices of Minister Hernrose.
Along the way, do we pass any desks or anything of that nature, or something that looks like it says supply closet?
Make a perception check.
$17.
You come across a one of those like trolley push cart things that looks like it's probably like the mail cart. It has a bunch of like portfolios and like sealed scroll tubes and stuff on it, as well as a bunch of like parchment and letterhead and like other various paper related
Fantastic.
supplies.
I quietly grab a bit and look for all the world as someone who is restocking a minister's office.
Okay, cool. So you guys are just heading in and opening the door there.
Yep.
Okay. So you guys,
I'm gonna let those two go in and give it a moment before I attempt to make a
you
quieter.
guys head forward and push the double doors open. They swing inward, and you guys stride into a fairly spacious antechamber that is much like the hallway outside, marble flooring, finely adorned with there's a few like tapestries hanging on the walls. There's several like comfortable seating areas that have been set up around here. There is a main like sort of like receptionist slash administrative assistant type desk directly across from you as you enter the room, behind which a kind of a gangly, maybe like late 20s human with like big kind of thick looking glasses is sitting. There are like two doors flanked on either side of him that are closed, but appear to go into like the inner offices. And as the two of you enter and like kind of make your way into the room, and then Aelar sort of like slips in behind you carrying this bundle of like supplies he has. This individual looks up and he says, "Yes, can I help you? Do you have an appointment?"
I don't have an appointment, but I don't think I need one.
Oh, Doug Dimmadome, how did I not know you were coming today?
Oh, good
He says, I am quite afraid that everyone needs an appointment, sir. And I'm afraid I don't recognize you at all.
Well, that doesn't surprise me, as this is my first time being in the town.
Oh, now you're Sarge from Red vs. Blue. He says, your first time to Niveria, and you have made it into the upper ward and into the parliamentary building and into the office of one of its ministers. And he like... You can see he's like he's like a little unsure about what's going on.
Yep. Basically, I've had a problem back in my town, so I came here, and basically people kept passing all the blame all the way up to your your man here. So I'm here, and you're here. Basically, I got a problem, and your man got to solve it.
What is your name, sir?
My name is Caractacus Clay.
Can you spell that for me?
There's 12 R's in it.
Am I to guess where they're located in
Yeah,
your
it doesn't
name?
matter. I like to mix it up. It's just Caractacus, spelled with as many R's as you see fit. Put them all in a row. I don't care.
And is this with C's or K's?
It's spelled with a C and one K, but I'm not going to tell you which one.
It is at this point that Aelar is going to quietly walk past, holding the things, the supplies that he's gathered, and just as if he belongs there, head for the minister's office.
Okay. Make a Aelar make a stealth check.
As he's doing that, I'm watching him, and
27.
if it looks like he's
Nat
okay,
20.
he's not going to be stopped. No, worries.
No, I think Caractacus Clay is proving to be so
Enthralling.
Enthralling. That
Charismatic.
he sort of like gives you a glance, but then is like just he keeps having to look back because like Caractacus Clay keeps talking at him. So you're able to like make the inner office unperturbed or unmolested. And so you push your way through the door, and it closes behind you, and you find yourself in a. Go ahead.
As he goes in, and before the door completely shuts, whenever Caractacus Clay is talking very loudly, I'm going to cast message to Aelar very quickly, and just say, "Is he in there? How much time do you think you need? Make sure you check every single drawer bottom and corner you can find."
Am I alone in the office?
You're alone.
Give me 5 minutes. No one's in here.
Okay.
So you walk in, you see before you. Let me describe this to him,
Yeah.
and then we'll jump back there. So you walk in, you see you are in fact alone. Across the way there is a large writing desk that you take to be the desk of the minister. Kind of like to the side against a little bit of wall, there's like a smaller, slightly less fancy desk that it looks like the actual work gets done at, whereas like the big imposing one looks like it's used for like taking meetings. There are two chairs set in front of it on the other side. There's like books lining each of the walls. There is a seating area with several couches, an end table, a coffee table in the center that has like a humidor and a thing with you take probably to have like cigars in it. There's a little like ashtray sitting there. There is, because why not? There's one of those like fancy humongous globes with the
It opens and it's got like a bar in it, and I'm guessing.
probably, but you do see it has the it has the three-dimensional spherical map of Egeria on it. You see the continent of Orahol, where you guys all live. You see the Iolaquis archipelagos. You see on the other side, you see the continent, which this actually may be the first time this has ever been referenced in the campaign. You see the continent of Matravath, which is the continent to the it's on a globe, so but to like across the Eastern Sea, the continent of Matravath is represented on like the other side of the planet from there. And other than that, it looks like a fairly standard fancy office.
Okay. While I am definitely alone, I quickly pull out the wand of detect magic, tap it on myself to activate, and then immediately duck it back in and quick sweep of the room. Anything pop as magical?
No. Nothing
Okay.
magical in the room. Or at least nothing within... I mean, I assume by sweep, you're like...
Yeah,
it's a
basically,
30-foot radius. You probably have to, like... You might have to move a little bit just to make sure you like, your radius of magic. But no, if you kind of, like...
Yeah.
Take a quick lap, you don't see anything magical in here.
Okay, my lap ends at the big desk, and time to do what I do.
Okay. So as he starts doing that, Brittany, what were you getting at as he walked in there?
I was just gonna say that I will start kind of counting in my head to know how long he's been in, so I know if I should be worried or just watching this poor soul deal with Bram. And until maybe if he starts to get a little like, wait, where's that guy? Like, I'm just kind of waiting for any sign that I need to start acting up as well.
Okay. So meanwhile, sir, I really must. Do you have a visitor's pass? You need a visitor's pass to have gotten in here. How did you get in here?
I'll pull out the sheriff badge.
Well, normally I would assume that would be the case, but I guess my winning personality just let me pass everything. They let me in. They said, go in. You're a cool guy. You don't need an appointment.
Make a deception check. At disadvantage.
Okay.
Yeah, still somehow at 27.
All right. The lower is a 23.
Of course it is.
Well, that's what happens. You get a plus 12.
He says, oh, okay. You don't have a
I got the feeling that a lot of folks didn't want to deal with me, so they just kept passing me up the chain.
He says, I refuse to believe that someone dangerous or with ill intent got past that many layers of guards and security. So whatever this story is, there's no way you would have gotten in here if you weren't legitimate in some way. But as I said,
straight.
you don't.
There's one thing I am. It's legitimate.
He says, but you do not have an appointment. So if you simply, he takes out a piece of parchment and like a fountain pen, and he says, if you would like to just leave a message explaining who you are and what it is that your problem is, I can attempt to get you on the minister's schedule, perhaps for tomorrow or later in the week.
Right, yeah. As I said, it's Caractacus Clay with 12 R's. Long story short, I'm a cattle farmer. I farm cattle. That's what I do. But more importantly, on my farm, we recently struck hoil. That's oil for those of you not from the region. We call it hoil. So I've been trying to get a whole bunch of equipment down there to start, pumping the damn stuff out of the ground. And there's been a whole supply chain backup. And basically, I followed the chain all the way to here. And your man, Henblows or whatever his name is the man to talk about why these supply chains aren't reaching my town.
See if I have this correct.
I'm sitting on millions of coins, gold coins worth of oil, and your man, Head Nose or whatever, is stuffing my business, and I'm not going to stand for it. Although I am going to sit down because I'm tired.
So
He takes a seat.
you are Caractacus Clay.
Correct.
And
12 hours.
You are a cattle farmer who has struck hoil in them there hills, as the saying goes. And you are exceptionally um, exceptionally remarkable in that, in addition to having found oil, you have apparently also discovered and invented oil as a substance that we know about. Crude oil is a substance that we know about and use for things.
We got oil lamps. You know, I'm gonna
Yes,
make lamps. I'm gonna be rich. I'm gonna be a lamp magnate.
Generally, tallow made from the fat of animals, more so than I am a simple member of Parliament's assistant, not a historian. So my hot takes on anachronism might be a little off, but I'm pretty sure in high fantasy medieval times they don't have crude oil.
Well, here's what happened. Back a long time ago, this whole land was covered with dragons, right? Then all those dragons died, and they went into the ground, and now they make a black liquid that we can use to burn. And I'm gonna be rich, not only as an oil magnate, but as the man who discovered oil.
Hang on, I'm just writing down oil is dragons.
Oh,
man.
The fossils are apparently dragons rather than dinosaurs. Nice.
Well then,
We've written paleontology for Orhol.
as this is going on, Aelar, what was that investigation for that?
19.
19.
Yeah.
You don't find much in that big desk. There is as you slide open the drawer, pen drawer. There's quills, and a few ink pots, and some stray sheets of parchment and stuff. But the desk does not seem to contain it doesn't look like he uses this desk for much actual business. With a 19, you do find a silver, a little silver box in one of the top drawers, that has a pouch in it, which does contain 50 gold pieces, as well as a handful of little slips of paper. Are you taking it, or are you leaving that there as you find it?
Aelar's
Gonna leave
broken.
that.
Okay.
Shoot, one sec.
Sure. Okay, he's still figuring. I wasn't sure if he was. If that 1 sec was done. Okay, so we will shift. Unfortunately for all of us, we will shift back outside.
Did he take out any sort of count, schedule?
Outside.
No, he's just been writing.
Okay.
Was that the ghost of Kurtis?
No, he's just been writing.
What am I hearing? Oh, I was like, oh, I'm hearing myself.
No, so you can hear Adam's
It's Adam's
feedback.
scream.
He's unplugged. That's why.
Gotcha. He's just writing on a piece of parchment.
So is your man in today? Can I talk to him right now?
He says, "No, unfortunately, the minister is not scheduled to be in the building until the parliamentary meeting this evening. He will be out on other business until."
Oh, how convenient! Just when you need the guy, he's not scheduled to be in the building. How convenient!
He says he is an extremely busy individual with a myriad of responsibilities. He says this is why a schedule is kept, as you understand. If you had made an appointment ahead of time, instead of somehow walking into one of the most secured buildings in the
I
kingdom.
just got here, so how can I make an appointment ahead of time?
Well, you see, we have the modern convenience of things such as messenger sparrows, which are...
Well, now we got the modern convenience of Hoyle, so you better listen up.
Messenger sparrows, which are a very cool, flavorful world thing that nobody ever appreciates this campaign.
Cool, you're a fan of birds. That doesn't help me. Look, you ornithological jackass, you better give me the information that I'm looking for, or I'm going to get angry. And you won't like me when I'm angry.
I don't like you now. I don't know.
I don't like you either. With your snide tone and your
I'm debating if I should get involved or not.
non-knowledge of Hoyle.
He says...
Also, thank you for the player inspiration from chat. The discovery of Hoyle.
He says, thank you, chat, for encouraging this behavior. He says, okay, look, make a persuasion check.
Okay. Well, that was a natural 20 plus 6, so 26.
You want to use your inspiration, see if you get another natural 20?
No, okay.
He says, look, if you head to the transit station before... He looks at, I don't know, a big clock on the wall. He looks at a big sundial.
There's clocks, but not oil.
He looks at a big sundial that's next to a window. No, they have clocks. He looks at a big clock, and he says, if you head to the transit station before 4 p.m., you might catch him there. I know he had plans to stop by there at some point today during his agenda.
Okay, I might do that. What does he look like? Because I've never met him. I'm not just gonna go up to people on the street.
He gestures to your left to the seating area where there is a fireplace, and there is a 9-foot by 7-foot portrait of Hernrose.
Oh, goddamn! I thought that was a horse. Oh, wasn't even looking. Got it out of the corner of my eye. All right, I guess that's what he looks like.
You get in there.
Not
you
even a horse in that picture. I gotta get my eyes
Aelar?
checked.
Yeah, I think I finally get everything fixed. My apologies.
Okay.
God,
So
I'm
besides,
running
you
out
found
of
some money, but you didn't find anything particularly interesting in the big fancy desk.
Quick check of the bookshelf.
Books. A lot of river fishing for some reason.
Of course.
Or in the building.
Right. Then apparently where the work gets done.
Righty.
So. Ooh. 31.
Right.
Nat 20.
Okay. So with a nat 20, with a 31, you go through the desk. It is a lot of like official stuff. There's a lot of things with like he has, you know, you see the little like wax melter seal thing with his parliamentary seal is there. He writes a lot of his letters here. You kind of like flip through them as quickly as you can, trying to like gather information. None of it jumps out to you immediately as being particularly like shady. You definitely get the sense that he is extremely chummy with like big business essentially. He has a lot of correspondence with the guilds that are responsible for like smithing and weaving. The Fisherman's Guild is one that he's particularly seems to have a lot of correspondence with, is being this close to the river. Like fishing is a big industry in the area. River fishing, in fact, maybe that explains all the books. But there's nothing that like jumps out to you as like nefarious, and nothing kind of like tingles your senses of that like things are being discussed in like code or anything like that. And you have a decent eye for that sort of thing. So like, unless it's very well crafted and very well hidden and is like eluding you, you don't think it's anything in this. You kind of go through the drawers, you find like stacks of reports on the conditions of overland and river routes for the transport of materiel across the kingdom to various regions throughout Mithlinde. And what you discover with that natural 20 is that like as you're like opening it's got like 3 drawers on either side of this roll top writing desk. And as you open the first drawer, you kind of like rifle through it. You open the second drawer, you rifle through it. You open the third drawer, you rifle through it. You're like, there's nothing in here. And then as you're like sliding that third drawer back in, you kind of like look and you realize like based on like the height of the desk, the height of these drawers, and like what you pulled out, you're like, that second drawer wasn't deep enough.
There's the false bottom, you son of a... I quickly feel around for Catch to pull out the false
Way
bottom
in the
on
back,
second.
there's like a slightly loose nail that you feel, and you like push it in, and there's a little like click, and the poison arrows shoot out. No, the false bottom like pops up a little bit. You're able to like reach under there.
Okay. I quickly lift that and what do I see?
At first, what you see is nothing. It looks like it's empty, or cleaned out recently, perhaps. But what you find, we'll let that nat 20 roll. You like peek down in the very back corner of that false bottom portion, kind of stuck between like the panel, the side wall of the drawer, and like the bottom of it, where like the 2 pieces of wood meet. Like a little corner of a piece of parchment kind of like wedged itself into that crevice and thus like got stuck back there. It's like partially crinkled. Pull that out, and you see a small note that is reads to you. It's almost like a receipt, essentially. And it is it only has 3 like pieces of information on it. The the sender and receiver is listed as being sent via Mavix Wells overland. The receiver is listed as Elvex Appraisals. The second line of information is a manifest number. It is manifest 34450-1. And the like description line of like what it is just has one word: metal.
Right. The little clock in my head isn't ticking down, so I look quickly. There's an ink bottle. I'm going to spill a little bit of the ink onto my hands, and then proceed to then wipe my hands pretty well, but there'll still be a little bit of ink on it. And then I'm going to exit, still looking like I'm wipe my hands. Honestly, who puts the stupid ink bottle there? I cleaned it and just head out of the outer office.
Okay. You walk out as Caractacus Clay is still in sort of full steam ahead. I think you probably walk out as we like reach the sort of portion of their conversation where this assistant is sort of like, just maybe you can catch him when he comes through. He's supposed to maybe come through the transit station today. Like maybe just go there. That's where sort of that portion of the conversation as you come out. And again, he's been so entrapped in this conversation that he like doesn't pay you any mind as you exit.
Okay. I'm going to basically head back to roughly where the I had found that card. If it's not there, I will linger and just grumble as I'm using a rag to wipe my hands and wait.
Okay. So back in the office, the attendant says, now if there's nothing else, if that is to your satisfaction, I really have plenty of other work that I need to do, and there is, as you can see, nothing else that I can do for you here at this time. So if you'd please be on your way, that would be greatly appreciated.
And what is your name?
He says, my name is Hornsby Filliard. Did it sound like I made that up on the spot?
Hornsby Filliard. Well, I'll be sure to let your boss that you're very accommodating, if not slightly rude and ignorant of Hoyle.
He says, well, you are ignorant of the wonders of the world of ornithology, so maybe we've both learned a little bit today, haven't we?
How about shit in your hat? How about that?
What?
Got him.
I don't know. I don't know. He just storms out.
Got him.
This is makes a note on his notepad as you leave. Anything from Velza on the way out?
I just smile sadly at him and go, "It's the price all assistants pay, now isn't it? I'll come back tomorrow when you have less crazy people in your hair."
Jesus.
And
my God, have you been in the room the whole time?
yes, I unfortunately was 2 steps behind that blowhard, and
His
I was
hat and
trying
his
to wave my
mustache
turn.
were so I didn't even realize.
yeah, it's a lot. I'm sorry you are having a rough day and having to deal with people like him.
Hey, do you valet cart parking? Is that something you do? Can you do that for me?
I'll escort him out. You stay here and get back to the work that you need to do for your boss. I'll come back tomorrow. My matter was not urgent at all. And I just smile really nicely at him and spin and go, I'll show you where to do that, sir. And I get out the door with Bram and then I shove him.
I parked in front of a
Yeah. I'll show you. Come on. And I just
probably move.
shove him out the door and shut the doors very nicely, waving at the guy, not flirty, but just oh, I'll see you tomorrow. I'm so sorry,
Yeah,
and then I shut the doors.
Goodbye.
Well, we got what we needed from that nincompoop.
As you say that, you turn and there's another page directly behind you, and he's like, I was just going to say that cart parking is free on Thursdays.
Oh, good, thank you.
He says, although if you are,
It's today, Thursday.
he says, if you are parked in front of a well, you probably should move that before you're towed. They get a bigger cart.
Bigger cart. Big cart and a bigger horse. I know how it works. You don't have to explain it to me.
Oh my god.
Where did Doug Dimmadome care?
Doug Dimmadow's been here.
I will exit
last hour and a half.
Parliament building, not with them, just if I see they're heading toward the exit, I will exit on my own.
Okay.
And duck into that same alley that we all ducked into previously and let the spell drop.
Man, Midland Day, if there's one thing it's known for, it's convenient alleys.
I do the same. I step in and change my form, and I just look at Aelar and I go, "Is he always like that? I've never seen anybody lie so convincingly, except when in actual Parliament."
No, I'm not actually. I'm not always like that. Sometimes I'm British.
This man has a gift for BS that I have never seen the like in my life.
I've never
And,
seen somebody lie so unconvincingly, but for some reason it works so well
Yes.
all the time.
It is amazing.
See, the art is the bigger the lie, like the bigger and more ridiculous the lie, the more likely people are to assume that that's so stupid you can't possibly have made that up.
And you have
And yet I did.
yeah, and you've refined it to an art that I cannot believe. All right, so
I catch really quickly. I see Aelar's hands, even though he dropped the spell. I assume his hands are still stained with oil. Like
yeah, a little bit of ink, a nice
I
magic
just
wipe nearly.
prestidigitation that away really quick. I'm like, you don't need to walk around like that all day.
Thank you, and I absolutely envy you.
Oh,
News.
it's-
False bottom, as expected. Bad news, looks like it was mostly cleared out. Good news, still something potentially useful. We need to, our next step will probably be Elvix appraisals.
Okay. We'll
We
shift.
did also get the information that our man is going to be at the transit station around 4.
We want to actually attempt to confront him directly.
I don't know if we want to confront him, but he was apparently supposed to have some sort of meeting. So maybe if we want to try and eavesdrop on the meeting.
Okay, definitely a possibility. Let's rejoin Walter. Maybe by the time we get over there, he'll have some additional information.
Okay, so
I think fingers are ready.
we'll switch over to Walter. We'll say as like you guys are. Well, so the plan was to meet back at the cop bar, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So then we'll say that like the hour passes, the you folks are heading there. Walter, you know that it's about time to meet, and about the deadline of your, the hour that they told you to like, hey, come back has passed, so you can like quick go and get whatever they've got for you, and then meet the party.
Go grab the dossier and then just like take it and leave immediately, and then meet back with everybody.
So that you come in and like without like a word as you walk in, that same like individual just like from under the counter just like places a black on black portfolio of like pieces of paper onto the desk, and you're able to take it as you kind of flip through. The information that they have on the other members of Parliament is potentially interesting in other like regards, but for the purposes of this deal, not relevant. What they have on Pernrose, similar to what Aldo kind of figured, he's very much like chummy with with Mythlanday's various like craftsmen's guilds and the like. You know that he has been approached by outside like what would be to him like outside trade organizations types of things, from Voland and the like, but outside of like doing the appropriate level of like business with them for maintaining the supply chain of things that are imported into Niveria and Mythland at large. His relationship with there largely stops. It is sort of the Moxham Company's opinion that he's like far too in the pocket of Mythland's various guilds to be like swayed by not bribes, but the hell's the word?
Political contributions.
Political contributions. I'm like totally blanking on this. What's the thing that
Lobbying.
Lobbying. Yeah, he's too in the pocket of them to be like swayed by like outside lobbying. Not that others have not tried, including the Moxham Corp, but one thing that they did pull up that is like noted at the bottom of this dossier is that word has reached Moxham of a handful of individuals who are like recent hires to Moxham, who have like come on to Moxham as after losing employment elsewhere. The Moxham Corp is basically like come into the possession of the knowledge that like there are some recently displaced workers that have like come into the organization over the past several months. That like are complaining of like administrative changes within Niveria's like internal sort of like the TSA for Niveria's like teleportation network. There have been like a bunch of staffing changes have been made recently, and a bunch of individuals have like lost their positions to like people that were brought in from the outside, and thus have like dispersed elsewhere. Some of them coming to Moxham, and this information coming to the Moxham organization via that way.
They were like the former like teleportation security agency people, and like suddenly they've been
Yeah, not all of them, but yes, like enough that like news of it has reached Moxham that like somebody's been making staffing changes.
Interesting. All right. I guess I'll ask about the rest of the group's escapades, trying to figure out what they found. If you want to just handwave fast track that.
Yeah, I assume you guys get to the bar. You guys are able to exchange tales of the information that you've gathered.
Gotcha.
These escapades
So
that you've had.
it looks like if he's heading to, or if he's going to be at the teleportation center. You said at 4, and what time is it roughly now? Like by the time
time all of this shenanigans have taken place, we'll say it's
3:30. 3.
It's 3.
It wouldn't be shocking if he's meeting a plant. It might be worth, like you said, Bram, to go maybe like see if we can take a peek, take a listen. Or was that Aelar?
No, that was Bram. But yeah, it's a good idea. This.
Damn.
What's this metal?
Yeah.
I'm sure it's. I'm sure it's plant of some kind, or a, an. It's got some use somewhere, but you may want.
Nothing to do but to do it. We can.
Yeah, we may want to follow up on that as well, but time is definitely of the essence. Let's head over to the teleportation center.
Yeah. Could be a plant, could be a shrub, who knows?
Disembodied
Could be-
Ozrius.
could be a
You're freaking me
mix
out.
Plant jokes.
Plant humor. Okay, so you guys are heading to the transit station. Okay.
Yep.
So, as a refresher, since it's been a while since you guys have been here, you guys head to the transit station, which is actually in the ambassador's ward. So, like, Walter, you end up backtracking back there again.
You have to go through the 93 quarters.
Yeah, you go
Bullshit
through
to get
platform
there.
9 3/4. No, so the transit station is this large structure that, from the ground level, you will remember is like a ring-shaped building that is built around an enormous boulder, and the entrance is actually down below ground level. So you kind of like go around this like vaguely ring-shaped 2-story building to where the ground descends in a like paved ramp that has lanes in it for like foot traffic as well as cart traffic, as well as like cargo and things to be like put into these like troughs, which can be like slid down to like the lower level. And when you descend below, you enter into a large opening, a spherical chamber that is beneath where that huge boulder is up above. It encompasses that in the entire area of that boulder, this huge open area. Around the outer portion of this open space is like you filter through like the checkpoints of all this stuff and like go around, and it's where there's all these like loading docks and loading bays and like security checkpoints. It's very airport terminal. Cargo and people are like moved through here and organized into waiting areas. And in the center of the space is dominated by that massive teleportation ring, which is comprised of interlocked concentric like rings in the ground, which are all carved with like various runes. And you'll remember that like all of those like stone dials in the floor basically like rotate independent of each other. And will all rotate until like a specific series of runes, creating like a specific runic coordinate line up, and like fire like across and activate and open a set portal to a designated location somewhere else in the world. So the way everything works is basically everybody like works their way around the outside of this ring until they like enter in the departing portals for whatever schedules are opened. The designated people and material and stuff go through, and then it closes again. It is business as usual as far as you can tell. There's people and materials, equipment, things like that moving to and from in this space. Nothing that you see looks necessarily amiss.
We were explained at one point the conditions under which they would drop the boulder.
Yeah, basically an invasion occurs to prevent that teleportation.
Yes, that boulder is suspended by like a massive like mesh network of this like strange metal that basically runs into the like up into the interior of that building above. And keeps that boulder in place. And yes, that is correct. Like that boulder is a security measure. Like this teleportation network is a set like a set location with a set of coordinates that like a portal can be opened to, and you know, theoretically, if somebody were to try and like send something bad through, they can drop the boulder and smash the teleportation circle and deactivate it.
I'm going to try my best to like be aware of like people I've seen before that are working and maybe people I haven't seen before.
Okay.
And try to like find someone that I may have interacted with prior. So like if the people that like take our tickets or whatever. Like if they're the same or different or like things like that.
I
mean, I imagine it's
probably
like kind of a high.
It's probably pretty difficult. You can make me an investigation roll. It's going to be a pretty high DC because it's just like there are a lot of people that work for this like organization.
Sure. Says 17.
With a 17, no, I don't think you like. There's probably some faces that you're like, yeah, I think like I've seen that person here before, but there's like, it's a complete crapshoot of like, who's who. They're just sort of like generic. Workers.
Yeah, anybody that's kind of like, especially dead looking, like behind the eyes, not like literally. I'll just maybe like the janitor or something. I mean, anybody that's like off to the side, not doing anything that's like critically important to the function of everything, but like otherwise supporting it.
Okay.
I'll just kind of casually say like just talk, like thinking out loud, like, oh man, it seems like there's been a lot of turnover lately, and see if anybody.
Sure. So you said the janitor. You can make a perception check. Yeah.
Janitor.
Make that perception check while we cue Kurtis up here.
Devin.
A 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, I didn't take proficiency in perception. I don't know what
listen,
you want.
the 7 is going to be represented by the fact that I'm going to give this information to Kurtis, and you're going to have to get it out of him.
There you go. There you go.
All right,
give me one
let's go.
second, Kurtis. I'm about to DM you something.
Cool.
And right in the general chat.
Just want to smash cut to this from the beginning of like the plan going as like being like, we're gonna have a plan, we're gonna do this, and the smash cut with the Always Sunny music to this right now. Can we get F's in chat, please, for this conversation that's about to happen?
I forgot we're like 2 seconds ahead of time.
There it is. Two F's. Oh, come here often? Okay.
Okay. So you walk up to a guy that looks exactly like Scruffy the janitor from Futurama.
Yep.
He's mopping with an empty mop bucket.
Christ.
Have you heard of Hoyle?
What? Wait a minute.
Aelar's just going to briefly glance at
Is that a cleaner?
Velsa and go,
Is that a cleaner that I don't know about yet? What are you talking about? What do you want?
Maybe something you gotta clean up at some point.
What, Mushmouth? Like, look, you guys are all. Like, is there something that you need?
Specifically, Walter is talking to this man, right?
I'm here too. Why not?
Correcting his clay, just like Walter like opened his mouth and Bram just like face popped him out of the way.
Yeah, heard about oil?
Hey, he's a butt puppet. It's fine.
Yeah, no, it just seems like there's been a lot of turnover lately. Have you just started here? You've been here for a while?
You know, I've been here for some time.
Like a lot of time or a little time?
I mean, by the looks of my mop bucket, I've been here for a while.
I'm gonna like look at the empty mop bucket.
Well, looks at your mop bucket. Looks like you're done.
I said what I said. What do you want? What do you need, man?
No, I was curious. You know, it's like
Curious. When do you want to be curious around here? You either take a teleporter or you go. What do you need to know?
Well, yeah, it's I don't take teleporters that often. I'd like to know that there's experienced people running them.
And so I sought out the janitor.
And exactly of my point. You sought out the janitor at the teleportation station.
Hey, look.
Excuse me. I believe it's custodian.
You just tell this man what his job is?
Look, I am one of the custodial arts. I know that, but
Man, the Bardic College of the Custodian. Very good. I'm gonna write that down.
the Bardic College of the Custodian. That's where I go now.
Look, you know, I'm just a regular working dude. You know, I know that if I want to get the real scoop on what's going on, I don't talk to the people at the line that want to rush you through. You talk to the good people working the floor.
All right.
Working on the floor.
I said what I said.
Yeah, you know. I guess you kind of have a kick. He kind of like looks around a little bit. It seems like, from what I'm hearing now, I don't really keep in line with all fancy stuff that's going around here. Let's be honest. I just do the art of the mop and bucket mainly here. But I've heard here that the station master, the Navarian transit hub here, has fallen ill over the last few weeks.
That's not great. That's
who's
been running the runes.
It's not great at all. But apparently, a replacement has been put into place.
Is fake Scruffy human?
Yeah.
Why do you gotta ask something like that?
Because I'm also human. Trying to do something very specific.
Look at it. Look. Just because I'm a custodian, I still need one consent.
Look, no, it's I don't know. I've been hearing so many weird stories lately. Something about the Empire acting up, and I don't remember. Was the station master like half elf, human? Is the new guy like something else?
Honestly, from what I've heard, nobody thinks the new guy is suited for this job, but apparently he's got some fancy friends.
Oh, nepotism.
That's all I've heard.
All right, we don't need nepotism when you can work people all over.
God.
Look at where I am right here. You don't get to the top without having some fancy friends, and apparently
look at it.
Temporarily
He's not related to anybody important.
Are you
putting it at Walter?
Are you pointing?
Putting it to janitor.
Pointing to Scruffy the janitor.
Look at it. Like, you think somebody who's got an important family member is going to be working on the floor? No, but this is where a real man works. He scrubs the floors, and he makes the place habitable for all creatures.
It's true, and sir, you are doing an excellent service. I appreciate your work here, and but if you'd like something a little more lucrative, and I'll hand him like the Moxum Trading Mercantile card with just like
it's like if you want a job.
Just
if you want to sell your soul to a
Walters
corporation, there you go.
Hey, look, you sell your soul to the city, sell your soul to the world. It doesn't matter. You gotta sell something.
He takes the card, puts it in.
Moxum has dental though.
It's true. They have a great health insurance.
They got dental over there.
They got dental. They got vision.
They got that bone magician. So they'll grow your teeth right back into your head.
And because they're in the shipping and mercantile industry, they also got that water.
Oh shoot! They got the water. We
Yeah,
can
they
barely
got the-
get. We can barely get any like
Yeah, they get
any
that
water here.
Volanian.
Look at my
they get that
bucket.
Volanian water. Yeah,
Look
you've
at my
been
bucket.
cleaning this place with air. God damn. Let me tell you what.
They located next to a massive river.
Yeah, but all the guys up top are keeping all the water to themselves.
No, absolutely.
They don't let us, the little guys, have that water for
No.
buckets or. privies
Aelar's
or-
going to start glancing around and
Yeah,
see
I
if
was just gonna cut it
the
there.
member of parliament who I imagine
Okay.
even trying
Yeah.
to be subtle is
Yeah,
probably not.
before we get too much deeper into this water conspiracy, Watergate, it was right there. Damn it! Son of a
Well,
bitch.
that's it. We have to see it.
It just means that when we catch the guy, he goes, "I am not a crook."
Make a perception check.
Can I make one too?
Yeah, anybody who wants to.
Please do, because that was
Okay.
just a 12.
Okay, that's 17 plus 5.
13.
Velza, you are the only one who notices. Not on the level that you guys are at.
Mm-hmm.
Above, there is a, there's like there's a walkway, up where like those big massive chains of this net that's holding the, this huge boulder up, like go into the walls. There is a walkway there, and there are doors along it where people can come and go, and presumably go up into like the structure above. And you see people like moving about up there as well. And way up there, you see Hernrose, who you recognize from the massive portrait of him that you saw in the office, standing with a older human man wearing the robes of the Midlandian Transit Authority. He has a mostly bald upper portion of his head. The hair that he does have around the sides is white and kind of a little bit wispy. He has like a long sort of like crooked kind of like hawkish nose, a goatee that is just on his chin is like kind of pointed. In my head, I'm envisioning a little bit like Jim Carrey dressed up like Count Olaf. He looks kind of like that. And they're both standing. Hernrose has his arms like kind of like folded behind his clasped behind his back. The other gentleman that he is talking to is kind of cross-armed, and they're both looking down over the stuff going on below, basically.
Is the description you gave us, that was the man he was talking to, or was that Hernrose?
That's the man he was talking to. Hernrose
okay.
is.
I didn't get a Hernrose description.
Hernrose is a little bit younger. He is. He's a little bit more heavy set. He has like dark blackish hair, kind of a jowly chin. He seems to favor, sort of like a plum color. His robes are this like deep sort of plum color, and he is slightly. He's not quite as fantastically mustachioed as Caractacus Clay, but he has sort of a kind of a narrow, dark mustache that is curled up slightly at the ends.
I'm going to turn how I'm standing as if I'm talking with Aelar, and kind of, like play with, like, move my hair, but kind of point up so he can track and as well, and kind of know what I'm.
Okay, Aelar follows her eyes and mutters a very, very, very quiet curse in Draconic.
Do we know where? Actually, I'm gonna like lean back over to Scrawly and just be like, "What?" Like after they look up, like, is that where the station master's quarters are? We're pointing up to where that was.
All of the administrative like offices and things like that are in the.
Or up there. Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh,
Do we know how to get up? Would any of us know how to get up there?
I mean, you can probably presume like there are exits in the like around the walls to this. I don't know that any of you like, or I should say, it's probably not. It's probably pretty evident that like you are not supposed to go up there, because you are not authorized personnel.
Morgan can go up there.
Yeah, Aelar's going to be like, he's gonna quietly beckon to Walter.
Yeah, I'll pop Morgan back into existence real fast, and
As soon as he does that, Aelar's going to touch Morgan and cast invisibility on her. Get her
ho
up
ho
there.
ho.
Cool. Okay.
All right.
I was already thinking about how we were going to resolve like an enormous black bird just like inside going up. But yes,
Don't mind me. Call.
very
I'm
clever.
just flapping here. I'll have her. I think she's actually still in owl form. It's from the last time
that's
I
fine.
used her, but so I'll have her like sneak on up and get close, and then I'll listen through her senses.
Okay.
So
Aelar's going to
I'll find a nice
quietly,
bench to pass out on.
Aelar's going to direct him over to a bench. Like, you rest here. I'm going to go grab some coffee or something, and look as if he's try and look as if he's waiting for somebody.
I don't have anti-homeless benches at this place, do they? They're like real, like longer benches you could reasonably lay down on.
We do not have anti-homeless benches.
All right.
My fantasy world. Nobody has invented shitty
No
anti-homeless
no hostile
measures.
architecture.
We do have Hoyle.
The one guy that tried it got thrown off a very tall bridge. He was like, "Hey, look, I figured out a way to make benches uncomfortable for homeless people to sleep on. That'll show them." And they were like, "Cool." And then they tied him up and threw him off a bridge.
Attached to his own bench.
Yeah.
Was it that big bridge that Bram got tossed off of?
Oh, the Broad in Ojicom. Okay, so you, Invisible Morgan flies up there. Make a stealth check with advantage for Morgan. She is
Alright,
invisible.
she is an owl. Her stealth is +3. My stealth is +2, so I'll add 1 to that. Ooh, nice. And it's an advantage. 21.
21. Okay. Morgan is able to fly up there unnoticed. And you can pretty much just like land on like the guardrail of this terraced level, a handful of feet away from them, unnoticed and invisible. And you, the way this feature works, you have to go into her senses, right? Or are you able to just?
I am blinded and deafened to my own
Okay.
senses. I am like
Okay. So
basically like warped into her. Yeah.
You sort of like space out of your own sensation, and you go up and take control of Morgan's senses as you see through her eyes and hear through her ears. So the colors, I imagine, are like weird and distorted as like birds have cones and receptors that are quite different from your own. So there's like a bunch of odd colors, and things are like weirdly like flattened and distorted.
Oh,
by
they
the
can
bird
see
vision.
they can see ultraviolet, can't they?
Yeah.
No weird stains, please.
No, well, listen, it's not that kind of program. You come in like the midst of what seems to have been a very brief conversation, but is very clearly the conclusion of the conversation, as you hear Hernrose say, "Everything is arranged, then?" And the other man replies, "Yes, it's all been taken care of." And Hernrose says, "And it is in place?" "Yes. It's right where it was delivered. It hasn't been moved yet. It'll be there when the time comes." And Hernrose says, Very good. And make a perception check through Morgan.
You got advantage and some pluses.
He says, continue to be this proficient, and you will be, I should think, permanent holder of this prestigious title. Now, if you will excuse me, acting station master, I have a parliamentary meeting to prepare for. And what was your perception check?
22.
With a 22, as Hernrose turns and walks away from this acting station master, you see a small pouch, which you presume contains coin, change hands between the two of them. And Hernrose turns and walks away, and goes into a door and leaves the area.
Alright, I'm gonna follow the acting station master and see if I can figure out which room he goes to. I guess I'll let her sit there and watch him go back. For a few seconds, and I'll come back and
he stands there for a few moments, and then he too goes into a door. So if you wanted to have Morgan try and slip into the door and go inside behind him, you can, but it might be tough.
I think she'll just go sit next to the door, perch up top of where the door is.
Okay. That's fine.
So I can figure out where it is in the future.
Sure. Okay. So you do that, and
then I'll pop back to my senses and tell them we need to interrogate the station master. Now. He's our guy's going back to a meeting, and it looks like whatever they ordered, the metal possibly may be somewhere. I'm not sure. This acting station master seems to understand what's going on though, so
So
if we can get to him real fast, we can probably get to the bottom of this very quickly.
Sure, we're just going to find a way for four of us and 5 of us to sneak up to the station master's office.
Hey Scruffy, you guys hiring right now?
It depends.
We work cheap. We're very interested in cleaning.
You know what? I think there might be some suits left over. If you want to check, I'm not entirely sure. I'm usually the only person here.
I'll tell you what. We'll pay you for our time, and I'll slip him a gold.
You gonna put it into the bucket?
I will I'll flip it into the bucket.
Throw it into the bucket, make my life even more menial than it already is.
No, I just gotta put it in his pocket and pat it. But if he goes in the bucket, then I'm gonna flip it into the bucket.
Just leave it there.
Alrighty. So you guys pay your new janitorial friend, your new custodial friend, coin. You have gathered some information. You know that Hernrose has some sort of a transaction carried out via Mavixwell's Overland to a Elvix appraisals of something that was shipped into the city, apparently. You know that people working in the Navirian transit station have been being replaced over the last few months. And you know that very, very recently, the sitting station master of the transit hub fell extremely ill, and a temporary replacement has been installed who you have now confirmed via invisible bird espionage, is definitely in the pocket of the Parliament member who just had a private conversation with this individual, in which Hernrose was confirmed, or was assured that everything was in place, and something was had arrived and was right where it had arrived, and has not been moved, and is in place and ready to go. And Hernrose is now off, it seems, to prepare for a full meeting of the Parliament, which is probably like something that you guys would know is like the entire House of Parliament will gather. The king presides over those meetings, so Oldo will be there. So it's a big old gathering is occurring tonight.
Crap.
And from your mysterious friend, the custodial friend, that apparently in a back room somewhere nearby, there are a bunch of extra janitorial jumpsuits. And as you turn,
It's Tori and Adrian.
he's gone.
Oh no!
You look away and you look back and he's vanished. But no, so this is all the information you have. And Walter has come back and said, we need to go talk to that station master right now. And as you guys kind of digest that, we will call an end to tonight's session.
Oh no! Think of the children in that massive rocket. I definitely want to drop on the teleporter right now.
Hey, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Those of you at home, for tuning in. I saw a lot of goofing off in the chat happening. I was keeping my eye on that. Thank you, my players, for joining us. Aelar Cabot Jr., played by Adam, Bram Repluck, and Caractacus Clay, played by Russell. Walter Gray, played by Neighbor Wilson from Home Improvement.
My chair doesn't like how I sit.
The top of Jason's head is
I can't do anything about where my chair puts me. Changes by the day.
Brittany as Ozrius, as Velza Edrin, and of course Kurtis as the disembodied spirit of Christmas past, as well as Scruffy the janitor.
Scruffy the janitor.
Goodness gracious. So, thank you again to Proficiency Bonuses sponsors, Little Dragon Corp and Cardboard Castle. Join us next week right here, Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will tag back into the other half of the campaign, the crew of the Grimm's Folly, who are gearing up to get in a big old boat fight next week. So keep tuned for that, and then of course the following week after that. Let me just check, because apparently at some point it's going to be Christmas, and we're probably going to have episodes off.
We're still
No, we should be good
not
the next
even in
couple.
December yet.
Christmas
We should be
is
good
on
Next
Saturday.
next week is the 7th. Week after that is 14th, and
I imagine we're good the next 3 weeks. The week of the 28th we might be off, as that's between Christmas and New Year's, and people probably have stuff going on. But at least the next 3 weeks, I imagine we will be here for your Dungeons and Dragoning enjoyment. So thank y'all for joining us tonight. I just wanna read 2 things real quick, and those 2 things are "Oil is dragons," and "I'm not always like this. Sometimes I'm British," which may be my favorite, one of my favorite lines ever uttered in this campaign thus far.
You always like this? No, I'm not always like this. Sometimes I'm British.
Sometimes I'm British.
British.
And I stay tuned for my upcoming homebrew, my homebrew subclass, the Bardic College of the Custodian, which I am absolutely going to develop over the next few weeks. So thank you. Yeah, trademark. Nobody steal that. I'll fight you.
If they know prestidigitation by default, does that render their entire subclass useless?
Shut up.
Oh no, there's far more to
Shut
being
up.
a custodian than just being able to clean.
I think knowing prestidigitation by default is like the baseline because you have to
I feel like
complete all of your cleaning tasks by default so that you
Yeah.
can get on with all of the like advanced spying and stuff that you're gonna do as a bard of the College of
Well,
Custodians.
yeah, there you go. makes sense.
Anyway,
Instead of like the dust of sneezing and choking, you have like the pocket sawdust for vomit. Okay.
oh man, you have
An unending
advantage.
supply of salt as well for
Yeah.
inclement weather.
My God. Okay.
You have advantage on perception checks to figure out which key off of your like comically enormous key ring goes in any given door.
You have an ability to open any given door, though.
Yeah, you have the knock spell by default as well because you have a huge key ring that has a key for every door. Oh goodness! All right, this is getting out of hand. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Hoil!
Hoil.